Did you hear that? I love that. It's all coming out, guys. Because I know what I am. Okay. I know exactly what I am. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Girl Talk. That's I love that. Today I'm here with another special guest.
Hi everyone, my name's Leslie. I work in the field of education and policy, and since completing my PhD I'm thinking about ways to use my voice more creatively. So yeah, really happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I tried not to scream when you said this. Yeah. Guys, Leslie is a doctor. Like every single time when I'm talking about her, people, I refer to her as Dr. Lesley. So everyone's like, who's like Dr. Lesley? And someone asked me the other day, like, what does she doctor? And I was like, oh, you know what? I've never even asked this question.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that you're here. When I was thinking about our relationship, I just thought that she has a few qualities that I would imagine that my big sister would have. And I don't know, I think I've said this on the channel before, that if I had a big sister growing up, I feel like my life would be so different. Not that my life is bad, but just like a big sister to really like guide you through life, like counsel you, give you advice, and just like share their experiences with you. So that's why I brought Dr. Lesley on the channel, because we're gonna talk all things friendship, because it's a sticky area. For me, it's a sticky area, and I just feel like it's a sticky area for a lot of other people, and it'll just be good to kind of just have a conversation about it, like the good, the bad, maybe the ugly. I don't know, but yeah, let's just get into it. Yeah. To get us started, I just want you to talk us through how you have found friendships in general and how the journey's been for you through your life. Yeah. How's it been for you?
So friendships is such a interesting topic for me.
So interesting.
Just because for a lot of my life actually, friends have formed a really strong foundation for who I've become. And friendship for me has been about trying to retain relationships, but because of moving, so geographically I've lived in quite a lot of different places for sometimes short periods of time, sometimes long, and so naturally friendships kind of fall away or kind of ease off a little bit, but also due to like changing interests as well. And then I think when you talk about the good, the bad and the ugly is sometimes recognizing that actually you've fallen out of love with each other. And that is really difficult sometimes to accept that it happens. But for the most part, the core friendships that I have right now are friends that I made in secondary school. And my best friend is my friend from secondary school, and I call her my friend for all seasons. For every single part of my life, every life experience I've had and every life experience she's had, we've both been constants in each other's lives. And I think that having her as a friend has kept me quite grounded in a lot of my friendships, because there's security. Yeah.
I do have some positive aspects, but I feel like the negative has really outweighed it. I don't know, maybe that's because I take a lot of things personally, but for me, like childhood friendships, I think I wasn't really taught how to be a good friend. So I just thought the more the merrier. And I was just like, I didn't know. I was just like, I have loads of friends, but I didn't really know what being a friend meant. And then got to secondary school. I had to change secondary school halfway through. So I don't have a lot of friends from secondary school, but I still have a few. And then I think for me, my main friends have come from uni times and like college, and then they stayed with me for a long time. And then now in my adulthood is where I feel like I'm making the friends that I really want, and that really kind of align with myself now, because it took a while for me to get here. So I was still growing, still learning, and I think now people can see that, like the friends that I make now, they can see Shokale 2.0. Basically. They're not looking at me like, oh, you used to be like this. They just get to see the best one. Like I worked on myself to a certain degree, and they're like, oh, we love this person, but a lot of people might not feel like that.
And I feel like that's the reason why I mentioned my best friend in terms of friend of all seasons. Because she's seen me, Lesley 0.5. Lesley,
yeah, I have some friends like that. I do. I'm not gonna lie.
And I think that there is a need to, like, not in the sense of like, oh, you've put up with me, because it's not a case of being grateful that they're there.
I feel like,
and no, I don't think that's how it should be. I think it's a case of thank you for walking with me as I grew, as I developed, right? But I think what you raise as well is so beautiful in terms of, as you've gone into these different spaces, you've made lots of different friends. And I think that is it as well. Like, when I went to uni, I've got friends from there.
Yeah.
You've got friends, do you know what I mean? And
it's different,
different pockets. And I just think you need friends.
My friends are basically my chosen family.
Yeah.
I go to my friends for a lot. Like, even before, like, family sometimes. I don't know why, but yeah, anyway, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
And is that where we talk about high maintenance, low maintenance? Or
do you know what?
Oh, am I
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, because I know what I am.
Okay.
I know exactly what I am, but do you know, but it's a big conversation. That needs to be had. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
So just from everything that you said, like, what would your definition of being a good friend, what would that be? Yeah, I think that makes sense.
First of all, you both need to be open with each other. But I think because, first, I'm quite a deep person.
So you are.
Be friends with somebody who wants to keep things on the surface, or quite light touch with friendships and stuff, I don't think that's the type of person for me, right?
So basically, what you're saying is that it's like the definition is different for different people.
I believe so.
Okay, all right, that's
because in the same way with romantic relationships, you guys have to be compatible, because you have to feel seen, you have to feel heard, and you have to feel understood by the person that you're making that friendship with and like developing that friendship with. And I feel like that isn't to say that all friends need to be all things at one time. So one of my friends might be good for someone who I speak to about career related things, right? One of my friends might be good for someone who I speak to about like faith related things and so forth. Although I have tried to introduce faith into every single one of the friendships that I have and like keep that at the center. But for the most part, I'm not expecting all of my friends to be able to answer all of my questions and speak to everything. I don't like people who just agree with everything I say. If you feel something differently, share. Let me think something else, right? Let me learn something here today.
Yeah.
I think for me, because of some of my life experiences, I needed, I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't just need a friend, I also needed space. And so some of the common things that I've noticed in my friendships is that, like, actually I enter into their family, so like I end up having lots of brothers and sisters and parents because they give me that space as well.
What you said about someone who sees you, that's definitely for me, because I know that in the past, people, like, if I've had issues with someone, then they would just kind of paint me to be in a bad light, for instance, and I took that to heart, number one. So now I really appreciate the people who see me, and like, yes, I have flaws, and yes, I can be a certain way, but deep down, you know me, you know my heart, and you know what I actually am capable of, and you just see me, like, you just know that this girl, she's something. So really, that's for me. That's like, when you said that, I was like, I think that's for me, like someone who really sees me. And now I've learned, okay, yes, you do have to have the friendships for different things. Like before, I used to be like, oh my god, my best friend, like, this is one person for everything. But like, does that really happen, basically?
No, definitely. And I think that question around how achievable, how sustainable, because to expect to have everything from one person just doesn't make sense.
I know.
Even in romantic relationships.
I know. I used to think like that. So now that we've spoken about the, like, what you feel like a definition of being a good friend is, what are some red flags you're thinking? Because I have seen stuff!
Let me hear one of your red flags.
For me, is someone that is not capable of being happy for you. So so someone that's not happy, because I've seen, like, I've told previous friends, like something, and I've not really felt that genuine happiness.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're young, you're not really aware of these things.
Yeah.
But for me, like now at this age, if I feel like every single time I come to you, there's a bit of like an energy shift when I tell you some good news, or then I think that's a red flag
That's
for
a red
me.
flag. That's so interesting.
No, don't you think that's a red flag though?
So no, it's not that I don't think it's.
Hey, I was like, sis.
No, it's not that I don't think it's a red flag. I think that it requires a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it requires I get the vibe that XYZ, like, why do you think that is?
But sometimes some people are not even, that's what I'm saying, I don't think some people are even
Able
aware
to
that
have
they're
those
doing that.
conversations.
And if
That's
I pull you
interesting.
up on it, then it's like, oh damn, she's now noticing that I'm not really happy, and then they probably just pull back completely because it's like, she's now picked up on the fact that I'm not really happy for her, and that's not obviously what a good friend's meant to do.
Yeah, I'm so careful about selecting friendships in the first place. That I can't, the biggest red flag is when I notice that we've fallen out of love with each other. Other than that, I genuinely can't think of another thing, because the way I try and pick my friendships is I don't go fast into friendships. Do you see what I mean? And so
that's a red flag for me then.
What do you mean?
That's a red flag to myself.
Making friends too quickly
is a red flag for me.
As I try to go slow.
But that's what I'm saying, that's a red flag for me. Like, I've done that in the past. Like,
I see.
Especially because of how my personality is, I'm so quick to be like, oh my God, I'm like this, you're like this, we should be friends, and then we're friends, and then I'm like, yeah, let's be best friends, and then a couple, like, weeks, months down the line, I'm like, actually, I don't think it was all that I thought it was going to be. And then I just, obviously, then I kind of withdraw.
Yeah. I think as well that someone who always has an issue with how you show up is uncomfortable for me. So I'll tell you why. I can be moody sometimes. I can, and I've got quite a big personality. I'm quite reserved and quiet, but I've got a big personality, or a big presence, I guess is what it means. Like I know that, like, if I crack a joke, everyone's
gonna laugh.
But I also know if I'm very quiet, it can make the room quite somber. And like, as I've got older, because I'm aware of that, I try my best to manage it, but I don't always get it right. So I can be moody, I can be da-da-da. And I find that if, like, you're constantly, like, it's going back to not being seen. If you don't know my heart and you're constantly nitpicking, like, you think everything I'm doing is against you, or, you know, I think I tend to stay away from those types of people because I think it makes me question myself too much.
Oh my gosh, you're preaching.
Yeah, I am very, very reflective. And so if someone says to me, oh, I didn't like it when you did X, I'm going to go back and think, when did I do X? What did I look like? Da, 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 and really try and, like, modify my behaviour. But that's not sustainable
as well.
Either. I think what someone would say about me as a red flag is maybe sometimes I can be quite serious.
Okay, I can understand.
Do you see what I mean? I can be quite serious, and it's like, sometimes just be light-hearted is okay. Do you get what I mean? Like, and so I think that perhaps that would be like, oh, can't take her anywhere. She's going to be like,
she's going to be uptight, Oh, I see what you mean. But then I feel like on the flip side, not to say that this is a red flag, but I think for me, people might think, oh my God, she's never serious.
Oh, I
like,
see.
Oh, she's always so joking. Like, and I take things, because someone said something the other day, like a couple months back, and they're like, oh, I wasn't going to invite you here. And I was thinking, like, that, I was like, see, you can go one or two ways.
Yeah, I think the other red flag actually is
it's all coming out, guys. This is someone that said she didn't have red flag. See, I knew they were there.
No, just when you said this, it made me think that we should be able to talk to our friends when we have an issue. We should. If we see something,
an issue with them,
them or with something, that we should be able to be like, I don't like this, or like, I want you to come to this, or I'm not inviting you to this because of this.
Oh yes,
but I'm bringing it to you
so if
you want to pattern up, fine, then we'll roll. If not, then, you know. So for me, I feel like we should be able to say, I don't know whether you like that, but what do you think?
I get that.
Do you get me?
Yeah, no,
and if we can't, then that means that friendship isn't
we're
safe.
not, and this is,
comfortable.
do you know what? We're not that comfortable. We're not really friends.
I want us to be careful though, to like, it's not, we're not really that, so the friendship must end.
We just, you're just here.
No, I don't think it needs to be you're just here.
No, I thought it's like the different groups.
I actually think that it needs to be a conversation. It just needs to be a conversation.
No, but Lacey, you're saying if that person can't even do the first thing, how can they do the second thing?
No, but you can do the second thing. And that's the thing I'm saying. If someone says to you, I didn't want to invite you to this because I didn't think you'd like it, or I didn't think you'd show up in the way that I needed you to, then you could say, oh, I don't like that judgment about me actually. Ooh. I would have appreciated it if you'd told me.
Oh, yeah.
Because actually, maybe you're right, but I would have liked to know. Or do you see what I mean? And that's it.
That's something I could definitely like work on and get better on. But I just think I find myself doing that to people, and this is probably another red flag. I find myself only being like that with certain people because they give me that space to be like that. I feel safe within them. Like, okay, this isn't gonna rock the friendship. If I have a conversation with them, we're not gonna be acting off. Like, the friendship is not done. Like the friends that I feel really free to be like, you know what, or even a little bit, because I'm not confrontational like that, or like I wouldn't say, I'd be like, well, I don't really like how you, and even though it's a joke, but I've basically said exactly how I feel, but I can't do that with all friends.
Okay. And
so I think that's I don't think it's a red flag per se. I think it's only a red flag when I feel like we are meant to be close friends, but we're close friends in all other areas, but then we can't have that transparency. Yes, then I think it's a red flag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Let's like delve into the friendship breakups.
Okay.
Have you had any before, basically?
Yes, I have.
Is it? So but I know yours are probably like, okay, we're not going to be friends anymore. They're not like, they're just a bit like, you know, just a nice, gentle part in a way.
That's interesting. No.
Oh.
So,
that surprised me.
4 friendship breakups in the last 10 years. I just thought I'd maybe think just kind of in that time. While it was, like you say, a smooth parting, how it felt emotionally was not smooth.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And so one of them was very hard emotionally for me.
Ooh.
The thing with friendship breakups is that you come to this realization that you guys don't love each other.
You've been saying this love thing.
Yeah, because
that's what it is. It's the love. Yeah, you've been saying love. But I'm just like, you've been saying love. It is that. But I've never.
Friendship that you take to heart, that you invest in, that you give, that you care about, that you ask hard questions to, that you correct. That's love. There's no other emotion. You know,
it is.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because we spend so long talking about boyfriends and girlfriends and wives and husbands, we forget that platonic relationships require the same love, not of the same level, but it requires love. You know, it requires to not keep a record of wrongs. It requires to overlook.
She preaching.
Do you see what I'm trying to remember? That's it. Like, it does. And I think that sometimes I've had to be really honest with myself that it's hard because of that.
Yeah.
That's why I talk about the emotional aspect. When I was younger and you didn't want to be my friend, that is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Like, and I was doing blocker, every direction. And also, the way those friendships would end would be so, like, dramatic.
Yeah.
I would be like, I don't want to talk to you no more. Leave me alone. It's X, Y, Z. Unnecessary. But I say in the last 10 years, because that's been the biggest shift. The last 10 years has been the biggest shift in my life. And all of those friendships ended without really telling me what the issue was.
Is it? Yeah. So now, like, thinking about that, now that you said that, like, do you feel like there could have been a way that you could have avoided the friendship ending, like the friendship breaking up? Because I've had friendship breakups as well, so like, I know in hindsight, I'm like, okay, I think if I did this, or if I just did this, I could have maybe avoided it.
Yeah. I think that we have to accept that some things come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Not because we force it or because we will it, but just because that is the case.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I necessarily spent time thinking about how to have avoided it breaking up. I think in the moment I was thinking about how to stop it from breaking. And once that moment's passed, because at the end of the day it is a friendship with somebody else, they also have the freedom to choose whether they want the friendship to continue or not, right? And so you have to let people choose as well. It can't just be about trying to manufacture things to stay, do you know what I mean, stay whole, if that's not what they want as well.
No, I think the reason why I'm asking is because there has been some friendship breakups that they've been like maybe quite petty. Is that okay? We could have probably sorted this out. A conversation could have avoided this, or like that's what I mean. Like when I'm saying the friendship breakup, not like okay, because another question I was going to ask you is about like when do you know like okay, this is probably this season, because you spoke about seasons earlier, so it's like maybe this season is meant to be done and this was just the way we were meant to like part ways. But then there's some times where it's like, do you know what, I miss this person, the way that we ended wasn't the greatest, and but now I don't even think okay I want to rekindle with anyone. I just think
interesting.
I don't rekindle, I just want to learn from that and then make sure that I can not take those mistakes and like basically to the next relationship or to the next friendship. Especially because now we're getting older, I feel like the friendships that I have now are more of the ones that I would want to keep. And
I think that you'd want to keep them and they are secure.
Yes.
And so
but sometimes also like, this is what I'm saying, I think maybe like just an example, a friendship.
I think the reason why I don't understand this is because I feel like the red flags that we were speaking about before, some of those we can't do anything about.
True.
It's in the person or it's in you, or it's in the way that friendship was formed. Whereas the friendships that I look at now, I can't see them ending. And I think that's the other thing as well. Having experienced friendship breakups has never made me believe that there is a fear of the friendships that I'm in breaking. I just haven't.
So can you see, this is why I got on the channel, because this like my mindset. So I was like, oh no, but like, oh big sis, like what do you think of this?
No. So I don't look at my friendships thinking, oh, they could end like the friendship with X or the friendship with Y. I do not. That friendship ended, that's fine. But I don't need to curate anything within me to prevent anything from ending, because the friendships that I've got are good.
Yeah, they're good. You know, you're right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's, for me, could I have handled it better? So maybe I didn't speak up at a specific time and I just kind of whatever. So that's what it is for me. Because that could, even though we have good friendships now, humans are still humans. So
exactly.
You know,
and it's because humans being humans why we need to show grace, we need to show love, we need to be open, and we need to be caring to each other. That even when we make a mistake.
This is why I told you I need help. There's grace.
There's grace.
I know.
There's grace.
Yeah.
This cut off.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Because that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Because I feel like now, even from situations that I've had and also situations that like people have told me, I'm like, what do you mean? Like 15, 20 years of friendship is just done like that, like cut off or you're done. And I think because it's mainly on socials that I see it as well, like people just like, no, I'm done, I'll unfollow or block. And you think just people are just replaceable like that.
They are. Even if you've been friends for a short time. And I believe that people are valuable. So there's no such thing as replacing someone. It's not possible.
I don't think they think in their mind. I don't think they say, oh,
I think they do.
But they don't say out loud. They don't say, oh, I'll replace her with someone else. But I think,
I can get new friends. That's what that is. That's believing that person can be replaced. And no human being can be replaced. That is the point.
Can we just say that again?
Honestly,
no human being
can be replaced.
Because I think people think, okay, maybe there's certain type of people that can't be replaced. But Lesley just said that no human being can be replaced. So that means
no human being, even the person with whatever it is. And so, listen, we all have a right to be friends with whoever we want to be friends with. At the stage we want to be friends with. I would say don't slam any doors. Don't be so like aggressive. I don't think there's anything in our lives today that we need to be so aggressive to end friendship. Betrayal.
What? We didn't speak about that.
Talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it, Lesley.
Yeah, no.
Dr. Lesley.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Betrayal is very, very painful. And I think even in romantic relationships, betrayal is like the thing that most people say, oh, if they did this to me, I'm out, right? And so I do not, under any circumstances, want to present betrayal as like, oh, you should be able to get over that. No. Okay? Betrayal is a massive, like it can create such a massive chasm in a relationship. It can actually be the end of a 20-year relationship. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Quick.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And so I think that we do have to have like boundaries in a sense. But I don't think that it's impossible to come back from a betrayal. But I am saying that in the instance of a betrayal after 20 years, it can make sense to, you know, a normal person. Okay, actually, no, that makes sense.
Don't worry, I agree with everything.
Does that make sense?
I agree completely. Don't change anything. I agree.
Yeah. That being said, this idea that, oh, they did this really little thing to me, I can do without them. I don't know.
I think some of you guys need to check.
But if somebody says or treats you as though they could do without you and they go, and you've reflected and you think, actually, I need to be aware of what value that they brought to this relationship as well, so that if for whatever reason they change their mind or whatever, don't so readily take them back. Personally, that's my view. If people want to let you go, let them do that. You know, let them do that.
I used to have a hard time dealing with that because I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, what do you...
Yeah.
I can't.
But when I was younger, I was very much that person. Cancel. And there were people in my life who I let go, which was a bad thing to do. I should have never done that. Honestly. And seeing them today, I think, wow, like, oh, yeah. I wish I had seen.
I do. I'm not gonna lie, I do. Yeah, I do.
I really do.
I do.
But they have a right to be like, actually, I'll say hello to you,
and that's it.
But I'm not gonna seek a friendship from you.
That's painful.
It is painful, but that is a consequence of believing people are replaceable. They are not.
They're not. Yeah, I definitely have learned that, and I do have. I wouldn't say regret, but I do have that. Like, I've seen people like, oh, do you know what? I wish that I just. But again, immaturity.
Yeah, exactly.
All these other things. You live and you learn.
Absolutely.
I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah. The stakes of friendship's really high now. So
what does that mean?
In the sense that our friends are having children. Those children are like children for us.
Yeah.
And so this idea of ending a friendship, but they have your children. So how's that gonna work? Right? And I think this has got to do with like how we view and how we value what's around us. And that's what I see. I'm starting to notice that, wow, we really locked in here.
Yeah, we locked in for life.
Because that's my baby.
Yeah.
Right? And so me and my best friend, we talk about forgiveness. We talk about disappointment. We try and like pick different values and we also make sure that our friendship is not a space where we talk about other people, where we talk about what's wrong with other people in our families or in our friendships, where we talk about meaningless things. We try our best. Yeah. Because it just festers.
Try is the key word.
Yeah, it festers in that space. Sometimes it's good to live on benefit of the doubt street. So giving
the doubt street. I need to live on that street.
Literally. So this is something that I've kind of agreed to myself that I want to, in order to avoid disappointment, I want to live on benefit of the doubt street. And what that means is I look at the whole context of the person. So for example, planning a wedding is the most stressful, one of the most stressful things
100%
that, you know, is happening in our age group. That you can do. And so if my friend's a little bit like, or a little bit tense.
Sharp.
You know, sharp. I'm not now going to be like, babe, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That is not the time, sweetie. I'm gonna say, she's probably just really stressed about planning the wedding. Don't worry, when we're all eating rice on that day, end of story. Grace, benefit of the doubt street is really, really key for navigating friendships as well. But the stakes are higher now. There's more people involved. People are getting married, people are having children.
Kids, yeah.
So there's more people involved in this.
It's true.
For you to be quick to end a friendship.
I think for me, navigating friendship in my adulthood, for me, what it looks like is really just kind of, not to say I'm separating people, but just putting people in, like, not categories, but categories.
Yes,
because I saw this thing the other day, it was like the Dunbar thing. I don't know, it's like the Dunbar method or something, which is basically, it shows like the different circles of the friendship. So like you can have like 5 close friends, then the next one is like 50, then I can't remember, it basically have numbers, and it says like what each category has. And I'm like, okay, this is what's going to help me manage like my friendships in adulthood much better, because I'm not going to be expecting someone that's meant to be in like level 1 and level 5 in level 1. I think so it helps me like manage my expectations, like disappointments. Like if I'm going through something like really heavy, I'm not expecting, I don't know,
something from someone else.
Like Janice over there to help me when it's meant to actually when it's actually meant to be. I don't know. The close, but
And I think that that's the thing with my principles. I'm only speaking about inner circle people.
Right? Just to make that clear.
When I speak about friendship, I am only speaking about inner circle people. Right. So when I spoke about those 4 breakups, I'm talking about those people that were in my inner circle. I don't necessarily give much thought to how to navigate people that are outside on those wider circles, because for me, there's no expectation here, there's no expectation there.
No, but sometimes there is.
And that's unfortunate. Because principles...
and that's unfortunate for you.
That's unfortunate.
Because they're in your level 5, but then they think you're in their level 2. That happens sometimes. It's like, you didn't show up for me, but I'm like, we're not like that.
That's interesting. I've never had to have that kind of conversation. Genuinely, I have never, and I don't think I've had
the conversation. I'm just like, how do you not know? How do you not know? Like, by the way,
really?
How do you just not know?
No, I think
why are you expecting all that of me?
It's quite clear. No.
Not everyone's like that though. Not everyone's not like clued up like that. But like, you know what?
Do you know what I think it's to do with though?
What?
Again, this is to do with our different personalities.
Because
I think I can imagine you, Shakade, going deep for someone and that being like, oh wow, she's like my friend. But in your mind,
baby,
you're like, oh, this is
just how I am. Like I'm just a big I'm like, oh my god.
Whereas I think for me, I'm so reserved, and for the most part, I've been studying child, so I have not no one has been deceived.
Especially I showed up to you maybe one time really big, and then it's like, right, you didn't even do it, and like I'm just like, huh? Like, no, but that's just who I am.
I see.
And I think it's good
that you... that is probably what it is. Because honestly, I'm thinking, wait, why am I so befuddled by this? But I think it's because, because for me it would be the misinterpretation would be so wild.
You'd be like, huh? You'd be like, what do you mean? You'd be so confused.
I wouldn't ask you a question, I'll just look at you, because this one, there's actually no evidence to confirm it. There's literally nothing.
It's so funny. Okay. So
do you see what I mean?
No, I 100%
so
get it.
I think for you, what you're saying in terms of like knowing how to group people, I think that's a really key lesson. Because by grouping those people, you also have to know what the boundaries are that you're going to give to those people. Because what we don't want is people to believe that they're closer to you than they are, and find that they're not.
Then that's like
hurtful
for them too, as well.
That's quite hard. Do you get what I mean? So let the boundary, and I think this is like quite a common principle that people speak about in church as well, like in terms of like have your inner circle, then the wider, they use Jesus as well. Like
they're free and tribal.
And I think that as much as it demonstrates what you receive, it also ought to demonstrate what you give.
Yeah.
Though I do think it's important to have a friend in your season or that has walked your season
100%,
before.
yeah.
And I don't think we've spoken about the types of friends you can have. So like there's people that are on par with you, there's people that pour into you, and then there's people that you pour into. And I think that in the adulthood space, as actually in every stage of life, try and make sure you've got one of each of those.
Yeah, I think I read it somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm sure I read it or like maybe watched the video.
Yeah,
100%.
Try and make sure you've got one of each of those.
Yeah.
And sometimes it means there will be an age disparity, but
I love it. I love that.
It
though.
makes it fun.
I love the age disparity.
Yeah.
I love it. I learned so much from the people who are older than me.
Exactly.
And this is what I'm saying. This is literally bringing me back to what I said at the beginning of the video, where it's like, I've always yearned for that kind of big sister, like love, guidance, counsel, advice, experience. And when I find it in certain people, I'd be staying close to them.
Right.
I stay really close to them because obviously I've never had it my whole life. So I'm like, now that I've got even a little smidge of it, I'm gonna keep it around.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it around.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think that's it. Friendship. I'm not gonna lie, there's so many layers to it. Like we've covered a little bit today. We might have to do a part 2 because what we didn't cover. I don't even know. Yeah, we didn't cover so much. So maybe there's gonna be a part 2. Put in the comments what you'd like us to talk about in the next one because we have to unpack. There's so much more to unpack. So yeah, leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like. Subscribe if you really enjoyed this video, and yeah, guys, I guess I'll see you on the next one. But thank you, Dr. Lesley, for joining me. Thank you so much. I love it.
I love speaking.
Yeah, no, you do. You're so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. So now that we've spoken about all of that, how do you think that we need to navigate friendships now that we're adults? Because everything has changed. Like. Everything has changed. We're not children anymore. We don't have a lot of time. People are having kids. People have careers. Like there's so much going on, and just like with everything that we've spoken about, even when you spoke about like grace and like things like that. Like how do we navigate our friendship now that we're adults?
Yeah.
Like how do we do that?
I think
to the best of our ability.
Yeah. So the first thing is to have a full life that you are satisfied with of your own. Because one of the things that I have noticed is that when people move into different seasons of their lives, they tend to shed friends. But the reason sometimes for that shed is because the person doesn't feel like they're doing the same thing as them. And so why, like different seasons, so I shouldn't be in their life anymore. But if you're living a full life, you should be able to have friends no matter what point they are in their lives. And it should be fine.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I would say.
Okay.
Live a full life.
Let me just write some notes down.
Enjoy your life. Be happy with your life. So that when whatever it is that's going on in their life takes them away from you, it doesn't feel like the end of the friendship.
World, yeah. No,
right?
It's true. Because like even for me, the battery's gone.
Oh, that was such
so
a good
good.
point.
I just saw the battery go, yeah.